Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. Ryan Ennis will be joining me shortly. He had messaged me probably in the last couple minutes that he had to go pick something up from the store, well, the corner store, for his wife that just informed him out of the blue, so he will be joining us shortly. So in that case, let's get all the plugs out of the way, and I have a funny story for you guys. Don't forget to check out our social media stuff. You can find it at facebook.com/American Sports Connection or on Twitter at ASCPods, PODS, Instagrams at American Sports Connection. And don't forget to check out our sponsors over at the Squared Circle magazine. You can find them on Twitter at TSCM Weekly. Use promo code ASCPOD and you can get 10% off your order. Also, before I forget, our entire catalog is on B Plus Player Radio. Best way to find them is on Twitter at B Plus Radio. All right, now for my story, which was interesting to say the least. I live in a town where, I'm trying to figure out how you would say this. Yeah, the first time I start on time lands and Rygow's late. Go figure, right? The town that I live in has, I'm fairly certain it has 3 jails within the city limits or right outside of the city limits. Well, I went to a Rite Aid, which I don't know if that's an international thing, but Rite Aids are basically like a little pharmacy and convenience store where you can buy food and get your prescriptions and other various things. I don't know if they're a thing outside of the States, but anyway, I went to go there to pick up a snack and a 20 ounce of Pepsi. On my way out and back to the car, there was a gentleman that was standing there. My mother yells at me 100 times not to go down there because she's probably listening to me now telling this story. When I went to walk back to my car, there was a gentleman standing right outside by the trash cans when you go outside the automatic doors that open up, and close. And he says, "Excuse me, sir, can I use your phone?" And I looked at him strange, and I said, "Well, why?" And he goes, "I just got out of the county jail, and I'm sitting here waiting for my ride to come and get me because because there's a McDonald's across the street and a Dunkin' Donuts in this little area downtown where I live. The McDonald's is under renovation, so I can't sit in the lobby because they're putting in the kiosks, which if you're not familiar, they're like these things where you could basically touch screen your own order and kind of, get your own food without actually having to order it from a person. Well, he's like, can you please let me use your phone because I'm waiting on my ride and I don't know where they are, and I want to like yell at them to ask like where they are because they don't know that the local McDonald's is closed for renovations. So that was my adventure for today. Lance, I don't know. In that area, I haven't seen any payphones. They're very like rare to see, like almost like a dinosaur. I think we might have one at the local Walmart. No, I don't think he had an issue with waiting outside. I think it was that he was afraid that whoever was picking him up wasn't going to know where he was, because the McDonald's, the inside area where you eat, was closed. They were redoing it, and the only thing that was open was the drive-thru. So I'm assuming he didn't want to like get left behind. I just thought it was funny because the jail's literally a mile or two from there. It was just something funny. My mother always yells at me to not go down there because her big thing is there's always bad people down there, or they're begging for money, or that type of deal. Yeah, my flip phone. No, I don't have a flip phone from 2003. I have a, as they would call, a burner phone. It's like one that you get when you are on like disability or welfare or like government assistance. It's one of those like free phones. Yes, he did. I do not know if he escaped from jail or not because he had a bunch of papers in his hand. So I don't know. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I've never had one of those before. I've had people ask me for money down there once or twice, or like, can you buy me a hamburger, or like something like that. But never to make a phone call because I just got out of jail. That's weird.
Did you let him use it?
No.
Oh, I was going to say, because your name would come up for him.
Of course.
Wherever it went, you'd be knocking on your door.
Yeah, he's going to come get you.
Yeah, I went down there.
The boss was asking me, did I let him use it? I said yes, so that he could come knock on the door and get her. Yeah, never cash. I agree, Lance. I'll get you food. I've done that at one point in time. All right, enough about my story. There's been some interesting news that's happened lately while I wait for Ryan to get here. For those that are unaware, Rich Swann, who's supposed to be on the Impact Slammiversary card on Sunday, he apparently last night at the MLW tapings got hurt in a match with, in a tag match. It was him and ACH against Teddy Hart and Davey Boy Smith Jr. And apparently he got a really bad concussion, and they're going to have to, from what I understand, pull him off of the Slammiversary show, which is in Canada, I believe. So it's probably for the best, because if he got a really bad concussion, I don't think that's a good thing to be flying, especially quite a distance. Yeah, it's in Toronto. Hold that thought. Here comes Ryan. Hello? Hey, what's up, buddy?
What's going on, buddy?
I can see you.
Yeah. I just give me 1 second. I'll cancel that.
No, it's all good. You're chugging. For those that can't see, ladies and gentlemen, he's chugging that Pure Life tea. My son loves that shit.
I live off of this. Oh, we're live already. Oh, what's up, everybody?
Yeah.
Sorry I'm late.
No, it's all good. I was just telling the story about the adventure I had downtown. Oh, that sucks, Lance. I didn't know that. I heard he was in bad health. For you people that can't see what Lance is typing, Howard Finkel supposedly has had a stroke and is on death's door.
Damn.
I know, because I was just watching Legends House recently, and he was on there and thought it was pretty cool. So that kind of sucks.
Yeah, I like that show. But Finkel, wow, I'm surprised Finkel over Mean Gene. Mean Gene seems in so much worse shape. Howard just seems a little fat.
Yeah, and maybe it's because he's overweight. I mean, I'm not trying to bash on the guy, but I heard he had trouble even getting in the ring.
Yeah, no, he had put on quite a bit of weight, and I don't know. I was under some assumption that he had lost some of that, but I don't know where I'm getting that from. So.
That's true. Lance just said he lost 80 pounds.
Okay, so then I did hear that somewhere. Yeah, I mean, but, you live a lifestyle where you put on too much weight for too long. It's not good for the body.
Right, or God, I mean, I'm not saying the dude did anything, but he came up in the 70s and 80s where it was, you could do anything from, as the Sheik would say, A to the Z.
Yeah.
So, God only knows what he was doing.
Yeah, no, I agree fully.
What I was just mentioning when you called in, Rich Swann has been pulled off Slammiversary, from what I understand.
Injury or what?
Yeah, he got a really bad concussion last night in New York.
Oh, yeah, well, we don't need none of that.
Well, I was saying, you don't need to be flying with that kind of issue.
No, I agree.
I do agree with that, Lance. His voice is the ring announcer from, all of our memories as a kid.
Oh, Finkel. Yeah, no, it's, this is, like the next couple of years, it's going to be like a lot of our heroes are going to be dying more rapidly. Look how many have died already.
I know, it sucks, man.
It's one of like the few like pastimes, I guess, or hobbies that like you're constantly losing people that you like.
Mm-hmm.
If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I always remember when I think of him was when they gave him like the toupee or whatever at WrestleMania 10.
I don't remember.
When it was with the one I think it was like with the Hair Club for Men or whatever it was called.
I don't remember that, but
I don't know why, but that's like the one thing that I always remember with him, because he got like, and then the fights he used to have with Harvey Wimpleman.
Yes, that's funny.
That was some really good stuff. I don't know if you saw this news. Sienna actually left Impact.
Did she?
Yeah.
Huh. That was quiet.
I know. It makes me wonder if she's gonna either sign with WWE or maybe be in the next Mae Young Classic, because they're getting ready to start filming in a few weeks.
Now, was she just not renewed, or did she consciously decide not to re-sign? There's a big difference.
I gotta see.
I would be surprised if it was them letting her go.
I think it was probably more so her, if I had to guess. Let me see. Bear with me. All it says is I'm reading they moved her to the alumni section on their website. Let's see. I can't really find anything. All I had just read was that she had left.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, here it is. Give me a second while I fired up the Google machine.
Yeah, I really haven't been following like the hardcore news as much as of late.
All it says is her contract had expired, and so far she has not re-signed with the company.
Okay, so that's still ambiguous.
Yeah, it says she hasn't appeared for the company since the January tapings.
That sounds about right.
When she had that really bad injury.
I wonder if it just, if it has something to do with the fact that Jarrett left, because was she brought in no, she was brought in before Kevin and all that. She was already there because she came in as Kevin's cousin.
Yep.
I mean, Kevin came in.
Yeah, Kevin came in. Yeah, I know what you meant. Yeah, because she was there a little bit beforehand.
I just hope that guys Fala seems to have made his mark permanently. Like, the people seem to like him.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't imagine, he's commanding this ginormous salary.
Not at all.
I also, they're not doing a shit ton with Kevin, so, it's...
Yeah, he's not even on the pay-per-view.
I don't think he's been on one yet.
Well, that sucks.
I mean, I love Kev. I just, I want to say... Actually, maybe he was on one of them.
I know he's really banged up.
Oh, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's just not being used. I mean, kind of, but, in nothing that I consider even remotely serious.
No. See, because I've actually really liked the stuff with him and Falaba.
Oh, so have I quite a bit.
Because, the last time I saw Fala, I told him, and he was all, real, happy and appreciative about it. I'm like, dude, it's funny.
Fala's a good dude.
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, and Kevin's a good dude, too, if you know Kevin.
Yes. Well, how do I put this? He has, a way about him that, if, you know what I mean? He can rub people the wrong way, but I know people that act like that, so it doesn't bother me.
Oh, yeah. No, I know quite a few people like that. That's everybody who lives in New York. He just has a very New York attitude, so.
You damn New Yorkers. All right, well, we have to talk about this, even though I know your feelings on it. He was, right. I don't know if they're going to use him. I'm assuming they'll probably will at SummerSlam.
Well, okay. Go ahead, because I've heard something on that. I don't know if you...
Basically, what I was getting to is Hulk Hogan was put back into the Hall of Fame this past weekend.
Yeah, I mean, look, my personal feeling is I just don't accept a racist's, an apology without him actually doing something. I mean, for some people, that's completely, there is no apologizing for it. And if there's people out there saying, well, what's the big deal? Well, you obviously, you live in a bubble, and if you don't know what the big deal is, you really are, you need to educate yourself. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that he does. He doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame for what he did. For what he has contributed. I think Benoit should be in the Hall of Fame. But the wrestler and the person are two completely different things.
Yes. My thing is, I can understand, you saying you're sorry, but to some people, that's not good enough. And Mark Henry said, I read a quote that he said on a show that he was on, a radio show, and he said that Hogan told him he was very sorry and that he wants to fix it and this and that and that and this. And he's like, well, if you're willing to admit that you did wrong and you're willing to try to make it right and do stuff, he's like, then I'm willing to help you. And that's how I kind of feel. If you're willing to put forth the effort to show hey, I messed up, I'm sorry, and I'm doing whatever, then okay. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, the New Day kind of had a very similar reaction where they implied that they don't buy the fact that he's already changed, but they're willing to give him the benefit of the doubt of changing.
Yeah, kind of like what happened with the statement Titus put out.
I didn't actually hear what Titus put out. I had heard mixed messages about whether or not he stormed out of the tapings. I mean, the pay-per-view.
Yeah, hang on, I'll try and find it. Because I had read it before.
I mean, but, you know, again, everybody is entitled to feel how they want about it. Especially if they're, you know, if... For some people, man, like, that's... Like, my wife would never forgive. Like, that's just it. I know, because she's heard me talk about it. With, like, Sunil willing to forgive, and she just shakes her head. I mean, she... Oh, sorry.
Yeah, well, like I said, I need to see that the dude is really, like, making efforts, you know what I mean, to change.
No, I agree fully. I agree 100%.
All right, here it is. I found it. I'm just going to read what Titus put. This is what he wrote on Twitter. He said, the reports and rumors concerning my boycotting Extreme Rules in Pittsburgh is false and inaccurate. I was not scheduled to attend or be a participant in the Extreme Rules match production and was otherwise not booked for the show. The talent present in Pittsburgh, which I was a part of, was asked to attend a mandatory meeting in which Mr. Balea addressed everyone and informed the same that he would be reinstated into the Hall of Fame. At no point during, after, or otherwise did I make any scene concerning Mr. Balea's communication to the talent. In addition, let it be known that I did not refuse to shake Mr. Balea's hand. We did not have any type of one-on-one interaction whatsoever that would or did necessitate any exchange between us individually. As to the reinstatement, I can only communicate that I am a proponent of second and even third chances for individuals that show true remorse, acknowledgement of wrongdoing, fulfill their punishment if applicable, and otherwise put forth sincere efforts to correct the issues. Unfortunately, I must echo the sentiment and dissatisfaction expressed by many of my fellow contemporaries concerning his apology and its lack of true contrition, remorse, and a desire to change. His apology that he didn't know he was being recorded is not remorse for the hateful and violent utterances he made, which reprise language that have caused violence against blacks and minorities for centuries. I stand firm in my position that he is entitled to reinstatement. He was and is a role model, hero, and icon to countless people. I hope that his missteps in communication to the WWE talent in Pittsburgh are not repeated to his fans, and I expect that he shall pursue an agenda and clearly communicates to all third parties that his language was inappropriate, wrong, and should not be tolerated.
Okay.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. That's a fucking novel.
Yeah, sorry. But you get the idea.
No, I mean, like, look, and he's completely, entitled to feel that way. Like, he's allowed to feel the same way anybody else is allowed their feelings. He's allowed to feel that way. If you were Jewish, and I know that thing you put up about the guy wrestling as a Nazi in Nazi
Dude,
clothing.
there's a couple things that will get me fired up, like angry, like, because you don't see me get angry much. That's one of them. There is no fucking excuse for that.
No. Yeah, and I can understand people, like, not forgiving it, because it's not necessarily like, oh, what's the big deal? It's the fact that you thought it was a good idea in the first place. It's like the people who, like, the girl who dressed up as the victim of the Boston marathon bombing.
Yeah, that's just tasteless.
like for Halloween. People are like, yeah, freedom of speech. Yeah, you have freedom to do whatever the fuck you want, but that's not freedom not to be criticized, judged, or held responsible for the things you say and do.
Lance, that's already happened.
What?
He said, "What's next? A guy in a KKK outfit wrestling?"
I think that was Jim Neidhart.
Yes, against Virgil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
you can
happened
check
in
that.
like '94.
Was it that? I thought it was much earlier than that, but I could be wrong.
It might be, but it was in the '90s.
Oh, I thought it was in the 70s. So I'm
No,
way
no,
off then.
no. Yeah,
But yeah.
that's one I vividly remember, Lance. So yeah,
Yeah, I remember seeing that later in life. Like, I can't tell you the first time I seen it, but I could definitely tell you the first time I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, that's Jim Neidhart. Like, that's not just like some guy. Like, that's a famous wrestler.
like it amazes me like that he would actually do that. It makes me wonder what he got paid to do that.
I don't know.
Speaking of which, and Lance just reminded me, Natalia, his daughter, came out and said that he's suffering from Alzheimer's now.
Alzheimer's is miserable. My dad's going through that.
My grandmother did, man. It's awful, awful disease, man.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that sucks. But I know he's had a lot of issues with substance abuse.
Yeah. To say the least.
Like, Sheik's used to say, he was the only guy that could go with him every night, all night, A to the Z.
That's nuts, bro.
So that's all you really need to know.
Yeah, if you can hang with the Sheik. Yeah, that's some shit. Well, I mean, it's again, it goes back to what I said before. We're getting to that age where these guys are just gonna
Start dropping,
Really?
man.
start, yeah, and if not drop, just severely deteriorate before our eyes. Look at Bobby Heenan, perfect example.
Dude, that was so sad. I'll tell you this, you reminded me of talking about people from our childhood. Tomorrow, I was going to be doing an event, and Nikolai Volkov was supposed to be there. He had to pull off because he's in intensive care. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's in the ICU.
And in 2 weeks, he'll be wrestling on some gym mat somewhere.
Hey, I actually did see him wrestle earlier this year.
That's what happens when you don't save your money.
I don't know. I just thought it was. I mean, if it's what you love, I understand, but it was just sad in the same retrospect.
It's extremely sad. He's a fucking senior citizen, and he has to wrestle for fucking. He's not getting paid. Ain't nobody fucking paying to see Nikolai Volkov in 2018.
No, because he's probably in his 70s.
Yeah, bro. I mean, it's bad when you. I don't care how much you love it. Like, your body gives up after a while. If you're still having to do this, that means you have no skills in anything else.
Or he just never learned. You know what I mean? They were just, I'll just live off of this.
I mean, at some point, he had to realize that he can't do this, until he dies. Like, he can't be 90 years old. Like,
Well, no, that's true, yeah.
And I'm pretty sure he wasn't really saving his money.
I don't think a lot of those guys were.
Smart ones did. But
I mean,
not many of them are out there.
Not to cut you off, I'll tell you this. And if anybody should have saved his money, it should have been this guy, because he got the preferential treatment, if you will, Brutus Beefcake.
How did he get the preferential treatment?
He was Hogan's buddy. He had like jobs everywhere.
Yeah, but he was partying with Hogan without Hogan's money.
That's true.
You burned through a lot of money that way.
Because he had like a GoFundMe to help, like, I think get his knees done.
That's craziness.
I know, I saw it and I was just like, wow.
Also, I'd like to take this opportunity again to say, fuck you, Scott Hall.
Oh yeah, I knew that was coming.
Because I gave you money for your fucking GoFundMe, and you called me on Skype at 2:30 in the fucking morning, and then called me a liar when I told you.
And then blocked you.
So, and then blocked me, so fuck you. Every time they say that Scott Hall fell off the wagon, I hope it's permanently.
I vividly remember that.
I was okay with, like, getting nothing, but I spent extra money to get a phone call from him. Like, that was the perk. So, fuck you, Scott Hall.
Yeah,
and you called me a liar.
I can't say that I blame you. All right, the other bit of news that I want to talk about that I'm sure not a lot of people are talking about, the thing I sent you earlier with the Bret Hart, Martha Hart, I guess you call it feud that's still going on 20 years later almost.
All right.
What did you think of what Bret said?
Everything he said was completely accurate.
Sorry about
Martha's
that.
not
That
the only
was
one grieving.
audio acting weird.
Yeah, I heard that. I think he hit the nail on the head. Like I told you before, when you said, "Did you hear what Bret Hart said?" Like I was kind of like tempted to respond to tell you, Mike, you know, I don't give a shit. But that's on the like. That's actually like that's not like a 4 out of 10 statement. That's not bitter Bret Hart. That's as heartfelt as you're gonna get from him. Like Owen deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. Owen deserves to have this generation know how great he was.
I agree. Like this was my thing. I understand both sides.
Well, like apparently, well, no. What I don't understand is not letting his kids meet the family.
Yeah, that really bothers me.
I mean, like, that's more than just I don't want him in the Hall of Fame. That's like separating them from the entire Hart side of the family.
Right. Well, from what Bret was saying, after she got her settlement from the WWE, she basically cut themselves off from everyone, and that they're only Harts in name only.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty shitty thing to do if it's true.
I mean, like, yeah. I mean, like, I also wouldn't say she should have to.
No.
Give up the name because, you know, I mean, like, a woman shouldn't have to give up her husband's name who died. In a divorce, yes, but...
My thing was, and I understand she doesn't want to make profit or have WWE make money off of her husband who she believes killed him, but I said, I think there has to be some kind of, like, meet in the middle where I was, and I think I mentioned it to you earlier, where instead of WWE profiting from it, whatever money they would make from potentially, say, him going in and like shirts and different things like that, they could give to the Owen Hart Foundation and promote the foundation and could probably do much more good than the foundation is already doing now, because I didn't even know it existed.
Me neither, but Bret also had a point that said a lot of the people who were donating are the ones who would really want to see Owen in that Hall of Fame. And he doesn't think it's fair to these fans that Martha is being so fucking greedy. That she used to be a fan before she met Owen. These are, you know, and
yeah.
It was a really well-written piece, which, you know, if any wrestling fan knows what Bret Hart is like nowadays on social media,
Lance
he just seems to...
Lance seems
to whine and complain a lot.
Yep. I was not to interrupt you. I was going to say Lance does the best Bret Hart impersonation where it's just like an example. He'll say like puppies, hate them. Like there's nothing he likes, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So for him to write something like that, because that was my first thought too. I'm like, oh, here comes another like I hate everything whiny Bret Hart post. And it was the furthest thing from that.
Yeah, no, I was very surprised.
That's another interesting question, Lance. I'm surprised Martha Hart hasn't gone after that yet. Because he said, has Owen been banned from the WWE network? And no, of course he hasn't, but I'm surprised he hasn't tried to get money off of that, because they're profiting off of him from that.
She's probably still getting royalty checks then. But, like, I don't think she has the grounds for that. I don't think she could say no matches he was in.
Yeah,
because I think they still own the likeness.
Yeah, it's like because that stuff never came out because for obvious reasons with the settlement and all. It's just I don't know, like that whole thing is just sad.
It really is. Like I understand that like she's mad at the WWE and stuff. I understand that she apparently doesn't give a fuck about his fans, but it's so selfish. I mean, he comes from a wrestling family. I don't know. It's sad.
I know, and like that's what was interesting to me. Like when Mark Henry reached out to how like he's like that he needs to be here. That was interesting at the Hall of Fame this past year.
Yeah.
Because it's almost like how because I read her other thing, I didn't send it to you. It was because this was Bret's response to that. She was like, he was a great person and man and this and that and this, but just so happened to wrestle. Like it was the last thing on the list.
Yeah, I mean, like she's trying to do everything she can to like support her own, irrational point.
Like I said, the part that just bothers me is I wish his kids could kind of like this. I mean, they're grown up, they're adults now. I hope they can decide for their own and kind of mend the fences or at least make an attempt. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're adults now. I mean, like, I would think that if they wanted to, like, there would have been some bit of an attempt already because, it may be as soon as they try, they're going to alienate their mother.
Yeah, they're like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
I mean, it's unfortunate,
Yeah, it's just a sucky situation.
Absolutely. But
but enough of that stuff. We got to talk about Extreme Rules.
I did not think it was a very good pay-per-view.
The pay-per-view that says it's extreme yet had nothing extreme at all on it.
Yeah, no. But you didn't think it was too awful, right?
I didn't mind certain things. Like some people told me they really liked the Roman and Lashley match. I personally didn't care for it. I thought it was kind of like blah.
Okay.
The Rollins Ziggler match I didn't like just because I don't like seeing so many falls in a Iron Man match.
Yeah, my issue was they also did the beginning of the Brock Lesnar Kurt Angle match where Brock got himself intentionally disqualified to go down for the first pin, but he beat the shit out of Angle. He beat the shit out of Angle with a chair so much that even though he was down 0-1, he was able to capitalize and go up. I mean, but yeah, I mean the fact that they were fucking 7-8 falls. It's just ridiculous.
Well, and like you had mentioned, and Lance just brought it up, Owens off the cage was probably the only extreme thing.
That was a fall. That may have been argued. Like, I'm wondering what the height compares to Foley.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was that far off of Foley at all.
Well, you saw the crash pad, right?
Yeah.
Because we rewatched this, because I was at Tremont's, we watched it, and we rewatched it a bunch of times on replay. He landed, like, perfectly.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's. I'm sure that shit still hurts like a fucking motherfucker going through a table from that height.
Oh, absolutely. Even if they are, like, particle board.
But that was the announce table.
Yeah.
That's not. I don't think that is part. I think that's plastic because that has the ship and stuff. Because those tables don't ever break; they just implode.
That's true.
So it's got to be sturdy enough to support. I mean, think of all the big like. Have you ever seen a announce table snap? No, and you've always had like guys like Big Show, Mark Henry dropped on them. So
that's a good point.
I mean, granted, they may fall apart, but you need to cause that weight for it to fall apart. So if it's like 300 pounds, you need to hit it with 300 pounds of force.
No, you're right. I will say, and I texted you right after the match, the Styles-Rusev match was much better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, but I never really, like, I couldn't suspend, like, at no point did I think that he had a chance to win, though.
They got me for a little bit there. Like, with those couple real close those twos.
Yeah, I just, yeah, I guess it's because I'd won it so much. I figure I already got Jinder Mahal. I guess asking for Rusev would be a little bit too much.
Yeah, and you already got the B team.
Oh, fucking BT. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, that was the one thing I was excited for, because those dudes have kind of been in, like, almost what you would call, like, purgatory forever.
And they're over. Like, they're genuinely over now. It's if WWE lets them continue and don't turn, and don't let them be jobbers. See, if they gave all of their teams a little bit of space to breathe like this, even if they weren't great teams, you'd have people give a fuck.
Well, we've talked about this before, where it's like, you're not going to care if the Ascension gets beat in, like, 2 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it's like...
Let them get their shit in.
Like, even the jobbers back in the day, like, fucking, like, Too Cool. People would pop for them. They're the biggest jobbers in the fucking planet. Scotty Too Hottie and Grandmaster Sexay.
And Rikishi.
But people got behind them because they weren't pushed as just fucking awful jobbers who lose in 2 minutes.
Well, and they were fun.
I forgot what match it was this week came on, and it was over in like 2 minutes, and my wife was like, that was it? And she's like, well, what was the point to that? I don't know if it was Raw or SmackDown. I was like, I don't know, honey. I'm like, they do this all the time.
Way to piss off your audience you're trying to get.
Yeah, no, she was like, but that just doesn't make sense. And she was like, so that guy sucks. And I forget who it was. And I'm like, well, that's how it looks.
It really does. I was talking about this with somebody the other day. Where the hell has Chad Gable been?
I don't know, getting repackaged. He's probably going to come up like some hip-hop guy next.
I was wondering if they're waiting and going to stick him back with Jason Jordan.
I mean, if the Revival didn't get treated the way that they have been treated, I'd be excited for that. But it's like the Revival of jobbers.
Which is ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
You're right, Lance. He said he thinks the reason the B team won, he's like, when I watched that match, Bray didn't take one single bump in the match. He's like, he's obviously hurt.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. I mean, because he did just have that accident.
What did you think of Nakamura winning as quickly as he did?
At the time, I chalked it up to Jeff being hurt, but then they just had a match on SmackDown. So, I don't know. I mean, although they are teasing him being awoken now, or broken.
Well, that was interesting. Because, like, I liked how he, like, flipped his eyes and they were one color, and then when he flipped them, they were different.
Or when he opened them, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
I believe those are the contacts he used in TNA when he was Brother Nero.
Okay. The Orton heel thing I'm okay with as long as he stays away from the world title.
Yeah, I prefer Orton heel.
I did kind of cringe when he was yanking on his ear.
I didn't watch it. I heard about it. I didn't watch it. No, thank you. No, thank you. I heard about that. I'm like, that's fucking gross.
Yeah, I know you're squeamish with that stuff.
I'm very squeamish, yeah. And I was just like, no, thank you. Oh, one thing that we didn't cover before with Hogan is what what I've heard the plan may be.
Go ahead.
And that is to have Hogan either be the special referee or something by the ring for Lesnar Lashley at SummerSlam, and have Hogan raise Lashley's hand, but Lashley being the first black guy to win the Universal title.
I've heard the same thing.
I think that's pushing it a little bit. I think that's really I think that's very fake.
Well, and it's like the only reason. The only reason Lashley's going to get the title is because we want a black guy to do it so we can make Hogan look better in everybody's eyes.
I don't think that's how it'll come off at all. I just think it'll come off tacky trying to use that moment. I don't think people are going to see it as that's the only reason why Lashley's being given the title.
I know that. I'm just saying that's how I could feel some people take it.
Yeah.
Lance said that Hogan should be the New Day's manager.
Oh, Jesus.
Could you imagine?
No.
Ooh. But
well, the New Day said that they're really not too interested in doing anything with him right now. They outright said that, that they would really not be too open to.
Well, I figured they're going to do something at SummerSlam. I feel that's just if you made me bet, right now, I would say they would do something there.
What, with Hogan and the New Day?
No, just Hogan in general at SummerSlam.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it happen.
I don't know with who, but just have him do something.
It's possible. Trying to think.
I would not to cut you off. Keith Lee debuted for NXT at the tapings the other night.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask if you wanted to do next. You want to talk about the spoilers from the tapings?
There's only one that I know about other than the Keith Lee one.
Yeah, and that's we have a new NXT champion.
Yeah, cover your ears if you don't want to hear it.
In Tommaso Ciampa, and the main event for TakeOver 4 is going to be Ciampa, Aleister Black, and Johnny Gargano.
Which would be fantastic.
Yeah. Apparently, at some point, Johnny Gargano got involved in something and got Black Mass kicked, and, the crowd was chanting, "You deserve it."
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, then that goes to show you how over Black is.
Yeah.
Because I would have never expected...
The storyline is being told so well.
Yeah, I would have never expected to hear that.
Well, it's... From what I read, it's going to be a very interesting time on NXT until TakeOver.
It sure
looks
sounds
like it's going to be
it.
good. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been watching.
Apparently, Meltzer just gave Undisputed Era and Mustache Mountain 2, the one where Mustache Mountain lost the titles, 5 stars. And that was a regular NXT match. That wasn't a pay-per-view match.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I had actually just heard that about 20 minutes before we came on, so I didn't even get a chance to go back and watch it because I've been watching some things here and there, but to actually sit and watch through things, I didn't this week. I've just been so busy with other things.
I will say this. I sat down and actually watched 205 Live this week. It is night and day better.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's like you're watching a completely different show now.
I thought of you because I got to see Drew Gulak squash somebody, and when I saw him, I said, "My God, he's in fantastic shape."
Who?
Drew Gulak.
And that made you think of me?
Well, I know because you like him.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. I just think he's different, yeah.
I meant, because they got him in the new gear and, everything. He looks like a legit badass now.
Oh, well, I haven't seen him in the new gear.
It's like a bluish kind of color. Cause I was I've never seen him wear that before.
Yeah, I I haven't really seen him lately. I was the last time I seen him was in the when they did the thing for the UK tournament.
Okay. And then they had a really good match with Lio Rush and Akira Tozawa.
Yeah, that I want to see, but my complaint is I don't like fucking Lio Rush on the mic at all. I don't know if it's voice or his cadence or what.
There's just something you don't like.
I fucking really don't like it.
I will say this, he's good at making you not like him.
Oh, absolutely, but it's like a lot of that is just like, I just fucking don't like you because you have a stupid fucking voice.
No, I understand.
But no, he's amazing in the ring, though. But I don't see him going very far just because of how small he is. And I think that because he's really small.
Like I'm taller than him.
I am taller than him,
and I'm like 5'8".
Yeah, he's a tiny dude. I mean, he does some fucking amazing stuff. Don't get me wrong, but
I mean, I could see where they put the cruiserweight title on him at some point.
I mean, I think the WWE needs to make the cruiserweight title like mean something, because right now it's just a trinket.
I think that's what they're trying to do.
But then why isn't it on a pay-per-view?
That's true.
Every pay-per-view, not even a pay-per-view, every fucking pay-per-view, even if it's on the pre-show.
All right, this is what I was trying to find. They're having next week. I think it's next week. They're going to find out who Cedric Alexander's new challenger is. It's going to be a fatal four-way with Gulak, TJP, Mustafa Ali, and Itami.
Yeah, Itami, I have a feeling he's going back to Japan.
You could just see it. He's like, I don't want to say he's phoning it in, but it just feels like it.
Everything they do with him is awful. Like, he's had zero impact. Like, I feel bad because he got hurt, quite a few times. And he came back, and then he got a fucking concussion because they put him in the ring with green-ass people.
Yep.
I mean,
I agree with that.
It's unfortunate, and they don't know what to do with foreign wrestlers. Like, you can't just be a wrestler. You have to have a fucking gimmick of being foreign.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, I wanted to go over some of the names since last week that are confirmed for the Mae Young Classic 2.
Awesome.
The new ones are Rhea Ripley, who was in it last year, I believe.
Yes. She was the tall, blonde...
Yes.
I think she was the youngest one last year.
Yeah. Deonna Purrazzo...
Yes.
Who actually just got signed. Tegan Knox. Jessica...
Is Tegan Knox Nixon Newell?
Yes, I believe so.
Alright, because I like her. I liked her for a while. I saw her in What Culture?
Yeah, I forget what the hell they call it now.
Defiant.
Thank you. All right, the next...
I love those guys.
Oh, yeah, they're good. Next, we have Jessica Elabon. I'm going to try and pronounce it.
I have no idea who she is.
Yeah, Rena Gonzalez.
It's probably Reina, which means queen in Spanish.
Yeah, Reina.
N-A. Yeah, Reina.
All right, Kaviti Devai.
Yeah, that's fucking...
I think she was in it last year, wasn't she?
That's the female Great Khali. That's the one that he trained.
Okay. Mia Yim.
Okay.
Mercedes Martinez.
All right.
Killer Kelly. And the last one I have here is it says just Crystal. When I hear that name, I think of Bobby Lashley's former girlfriend.
Yeah, Crystal Marshall?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize they start taping sooner than I thought.
When did I? Beginning of August.
August 8th and 9th.
Okay, yeah.
Lance said if The Rock's daughter enters, we know who will be winning. LOL.
Is she even a wrestler?
No, but she was backstage recently. Like, she literally looks just like The Rock.
That's an ugly girl then. I wouldn't want a female who looks like The Rock.
In the face? Yeah, I plead the fifth on that one.
That's funny.
Uh,
I'm trying to think what else. The G1 is going on. I actually have to go back and I have to start catching up on what I've missed.
I read that, God, I'm forgetting his name. Juice Robinson is injured.
I actually haven't read that.
I had read something about it, but I have to find it because I had read it earlier.
I mean, with the way they work over there, I mean, it's entirely possible. I mean, just look at fucking what's his name, Hiromu
Oh,
Takahashi.
Man, yeah, that was brutal. Have you ever heard an update on him?
No, I haven't. But I showed my wife, and she was like, "Oh my god, why would you show me that?" She's like, "That's awful."
No, I can't find anything, so Juice must be okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else really big, noteworthy.
Lance said The Rock's daughter wants to wrestle.
Yeah, I heard that she wants to wrestle. But yeah, nothing big really in the world of MMA or wrestling this week. Big that I can think of. I know Kobe Covington in the UFC. He's the interim champion now. In whatever division Woodley is the champion of, and now he may be injured, so he may have to relinquish that belt. So that's interesting. And he's been talking all this shit too, and he's the one who said he's going to go put the belt on Trump's desk, and he wants to meet President Trump.
Really?
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. He's a troll.
Well, here's some news. Ring of Honor announced for their TV tapings tomorrow that they're going to have the Woman of Honor Championship defended with, I'm going to try and pronounce it, Sumi Sakai against Madison Rayne.
Sumi is like 40-something years old, I believe. She's in such good shape, but she's old as fuck.
Yep.
Forgot where I just seen her. Maybe it was probably Ring of Honor. It was probably that last pay-per-view.
Yeah, I just remembered. WWE announced on their Twitter earlier today, that there's a, quote, historical announcement to be revealed on Monday Night Raw by Stephanie McMahon.
Huh.
Everything I've read is that it's probably going to be the all-women's pay-per-view.
Oh, that's possible.
Because it was rumored that they're going to do that in September.
I mean, they have a roster for it, but the thing is that, like now, okay, this is what we missed. The fucking potential lesbian storyline between Sasha and Bayley.
Oh, that's weird,
That really is weird. I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I don't care. You know me well enough to know that I don't give a shit. I just don't think that's the way that they should be showcasing those girls.
Oh, God, no. I don't know. I just think they're dragging it out way too long.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they deserve much better.
No, I agree with that. All right, now, you got any plans this weekend, Rye?
I actually literally just got the SNES class. I mean the NES Classic off of Amazon. Like it literally just came. So probably fuck around with that.
You're going to be playing Duck Hunt.
Yeah, maybe if Duck Hunt is on here because I don't have a gun.
The fucking dog that used to laugh at you.
Let's see, it's Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, Dr. Mario, Excitebike, Final Fantasy, Galaga, Ghost and Goblins, you know, a lot of shit in here. Kirby, the original Mario, Mega Man, Super Mario Brothers 2 and 3, Punch Out. It's cool. 2 Zeldas, and Tecmo Bowl.
Dude, I used to play the shit out of Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, I'm gonna have some fun with that this weekend.
And Bubble Bobble was my shit back in the day.
I loved that. For that and Dr. Mario, I loved all those puzzle games.
Never was a big Dr. Mario, but I love Bubble Bobble.
That and Tetris. I was the shit in Tetris, bro. I was really good in Tetris.
Nice. Well, I have a busy weekend. I'm tomorrow at Synergy Pro Wrestling in, I think it's considered Manville, New Jersey, which is more north. They're doing a fan fest that starts, I think, at like 4. And I'll be there selling shirts and stickers and all that fun stuff, hanging out before the show. And then the show starts at 7, I believe. I know Shane Douglas is going to be there and a couple other legends who I'm forgetting off the top of my head. And then Sunday, I'm back up that way for Innovative Pro in Ridgefield Park. I'm not driving that day, thank God. I'm trying to think who you would know that's on that. You probably know who Jimmy Havoc is, right?
I know of the name.
Yeah, he's on that card. A lot of good independent talent that's going to be there, so it should be a fun weekend.
Good shit, man. I hope you have fun.
Yeah, I'm just glad I'm not driving Sunday. I'm driving to someone's house that's going, and then they're going to take me the rest of the way, so I don't have to pay the tolls on the turnpike.
There you go, cheap fuck.
Oh, dude, it's $25 round trip.
Oh, no, trust me, I understand that.
Yeah, Lance is saying that he used to have Tecmo Bowl parties, and they would play for money.
That's funny.
How much money did you used to win, Lance? Because he said no one would play him no matter, even if he picked the worst team.
Oh, that's funny. Fucking cheating ass.
No,
cheater.
He's just a degenerate gambler.
That's funny.
That's
Cheat,
like how I do with fantasy football now. Oh God, well I just remembered. You can legally bet on like sports now in New Jersey.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
He
that
said
went through?
Yeah. He said it used to be $20 he would win at a clip, at least $1 a game. You're selling yourself short there, man.
That's funny.
I used to do that back in the day. Not so much back in the day, but when I played Madden a lot, I would play in like tournaments or go and take people's money and shit like that. I used to win a lot of money doing that.
Bro, me and my friend Brandon would fucking play, and we'd have some of, like, the greatest moments in games. Like, I was down by 3 touchdowns with, like, honestly, like, it was over 2 minutes, and I ended up winning. And he was like, what the fuck? It was like Hail Mary, crazy interception, amazing run back. And we would do this to each other all the time. Like, somebody would be up, and then just miracles would happen. I missed that. And then that was the year before QB Vision, when they put in the fucking QB Vision where you had to look where you wanted to throw.
I hate that.
Yeah, and after that, like, I kind of fell out of it. I was like, fuck this game.
I haven't played in a long time because I sold my PS4.
Yeah, you were telling me.
But I got good money for, like, I got basically an offer I couldn't refuse.
That's good.
I'll probably get another one if I get the money enough, like on Black Friday or something, because they're usually like 150 on like Amazon that day.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Yeah,
No, that's a $300 system.
Yeah, on Black Friday they sell it like 150.
Huh. Interesting.
But it's probably only a handful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's one thing I don't miss. I'll tell this quick story, then we'll get out of here. When I used to work at Walmart, I worked the last Black Friday I worked. They made me guard like it was like a grill or something that was on sale, like one of those little like ones you could put like on your countertop. You know what I mean?
George Foreman grill?
No, it was just like a little like square one that like you could cook breakfast stuff on.
Okay.
I went to George Foreman, but they had me guarding it with cling wrap all around it. And when the time come, because they gave us switchblades, you needed to like cut up boxes and stuff. Well, when the time came, all right, go ahead and open the thing so people can get the stuff. So I had my back turned, and I'm cutting the stuff so that you can get to the product. And I cut it off, and by the time I took all the wrapping off so that the people could get to it, and I turned around, the people literally knocked me back into the pallet, and I almost fell over. These people were fighting over fucking grills.
Doesn't surprise me.
I was
Fucking
just like,
people are retarded.
I was. That's the one thing I'll never forget. I was just like, my God. So I never do shopping out during then. It's always online.
Smart.
Yeah, but that's just one memory I always have when I was thinking about that.
Yeah, I don't go fucking shopping outside. Get the hell out of here. Around people? Hell no.
But on that note, we're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give it a thumbs up, all that stuff. And we'll see you back next time. Have a good night, everybody.